You did not find this by accident. March 29th to March 31st marks the opening of a rare 72-hour window, a success triangle alignment that only forms once in decades. And somehow, before you even understood it, you began feeling it. The restlessness, the emotional shifts, the quiet inner pull. This is not imagination. This is not coincidence. This is your energy responding to something real, something already moving through you. The window has opened, and whether you are ready or not, it has already begun changing you. You may have noticed it first in the quiet moments, when nothing around you demands your attention, yet something inside you refuses to settle. A subtle but persistent restlessness. Not anxiety, not fear, but a low, steady movement beneath your skin. You sit down to relax, but your body urges you to stand. You try to focus, but your thoughts begin shifting from one idea to another, as if something unseen is gently pulling you forward. In your daily life, it shows up in small, almost unnoticeable ways. You may find yourself rearranging your space without a clear reason, starting tasks you did not plan, walking from one room to another, not because you forgot something, but because stillness feels unnatural right now. Even moments that used to feel calm now carry a quiet pressure, as if something is building just beyond your awareness. And what makes this feeling even more confusing is that it does not come with a clear cause. There is no visible problem to solve, no external urgency to explain it. Yet it persists, steady, present, almost intentional. This is where you need to understand something important. This is not random. This is what happens when your internal energy begins to move faster than your external reality. When your system starts preparing for a shift before your life visibly reflects it. You are not losing control. You are becoming aware of motion that has already begun. This kind of restlessness is a sign of sensitivity, not instability. It means you are picking up on something deeper than surface-level experience. Your awareness is expanding, and your energy is adjusting to match a new frequency that is not yet fully visible in your physical world. The success triangle alignment that is forming between March 29th and March 31st is not just an abstract event happening somewhere far away. It is a pattern of alignment that creates forward momentum. It opens a pathway, and that pathway begins inside you before it appears outside of you. Your body recognizes this opening before your mind can explain it. That is why stillness feels uncomfortable right now, because stillness belongs to what was, not to what is emerging. Your system is orienting itself toward movement, toward change, toward something that is trying to come into form through you. You may even notice that this restlessness intensifies at specific times, late at night, when everything is quiet. Early in the morning before the world fully wakes up. These are the moments when external distractions fade, and your inner awareness becomes louder, clearer, impossible to ignore. This is not a disruption. This is preparation. The alignment creates a kind of internal acceleration, a gentle but undeniable push that says something is about to shift, and you are being positioned for it. You are not meant to feel comfortable right now. You are meant to feel activated. And if you try to resist it, if you try to force yourself back into stillness that no longer fits, the discomfort will only grow stronger. Not because something is wrong, but because something is trying to move through you. And it cannot do that if you remain where you were. This is the moment where many people misunderstand what is happening to them. They label this feeling as stress, as distraction, as imbalance. But those who are aware recognize it for what it truly is. It is alignment in motion. You are not being pushed randomly. You are being guided into position. Every urge to move, every shift in your attention, every subtle nudge is part of a larger pattern unfolding during this 72-hour window. You are already inside it. So instead of asking yourself why you cannot relax, ask yourself what is trying to move through you. Instead of resisting the energy, begin to observe it. Follow it gently. Allow it to show you where it wants to go. because this restlessness is not here to disturb you. It is here to awaken you. And the moment you stop fighting, it is the moment you realize something profound. You are not being unsettled. You are being set in motion. You may have felt it without warning, a sudden wave of emotion that does not seem to belong to the moment you are in. You are going about your day, and something small touches you more deeply than it should. A word, a memory, a tone in someone's voice, and suddenly you feel everything more intensely than usual. Not just sadness or joy, but something deeper, something harder to name. In your daily life, this may look like unexpected sensitivity. You may feel overwhelmed in conversations that once felt normal. You may notice your patience thinning, or your compassion expanding in ways that surprise you. Even your own thoughts may feel louder, more emotional, more revealing than before. And what confuses you is that nothing dramatic has changed outside of you. Yet inside, everything feels amplified. This is not weakness. This is not instability. This is not random. This is what happens when your emotional awareness begins to rise to meet a moment of alignment, when deeper layers of your inner world begin surfacing, not to overwhelm you, but to be seen clearly for the first time. The success triangle alignment during these 72 hours does not only influence your direction, it illuminates your emotional field. It brings hidden patterns, buried feelings, and unspoken truths closer to the surface of your awareness. That is why everything feels stronger, because what was once quiet within you is now asking to be acknowledged. You may notice emotions that do not make sense in the moment, old memories resurfacing without invitation, feelings you thought you had moved beyond suddenly returning with unexpected clarity. It can feel confusing, even uncomfortable to experience emotions that seem disconnected from your present reality. But they are not disconnected. They are part of your realignment. Your system is releasing what no longer fits the path that is opening for you. It is clearing space. It is refining your internal state so that you can move forward without carrying what no longer belongs in your future. This is why your emotional responses feel sharper, because your awareness is becoming more precise. You are beginning to recognize what resonates and what does not, what aligns and what creates friction within you. And once you see this clearly, you cannot return to not knowing. That is the shift. And it is happening now because of this rare alignment. The success triangle does not simply offer opportunity. It demands clarity. It requires you to feel what is true, even if it is uncomfortable, so that you can move in the direction that is actually meant for you. This is why you may feel both vulnerable and aware at the same time, as if something inside you is opening while another part of you is observing it with a new level of understanding. You are not losing control of your emotions. You are gaining access to them. And there is a difference. Sensitivity during this window is not a burden. It is a signal, a precise indicator of what needs your attention, what needs your release, and what needs your acceptance. If something feels heavier than usual, it is asking to be seen. If something feels lighter, it is showing you where your path is leading. You may even notice moments where your emotions shift suddenly, where something that once felt important no longer carries the same weight, or where something small suddenly feels deeply meaningful. This is not inconsistency. This is recalibration. Your emotional system is aligning itself with a new direction, one that reflects who you are becoming, not who you have been. And this can only happen when you allow yourself to feel fully, without resistance, without judgment, without the need to immediately understand it, because understanding will come. But first, awareness must rise. So if you find yourself feeling more than usual, if your emotions seem closer to the surface than they have ever been, do not pull away from it. Lean into it gently, observe it, allow it, because what you are feeling is not chaos. It is clarity in its earliest form. And as this 72-hour window continues to unfold, one truth will begin to settle within you. You are not becoming more emotional. You are becoming more honest with yourself. A quiet distance has begun to form between you and the noise of the world. Conversations that once felt easy now feel heavy. Environments that used to feel neutral now feel overwhelming. It is not that people have suddenly changed. It is that your perception has. In your daily life, this can look like a growing need for space. You may find yourself stepping back from conversations midway, not out of disinterest, but because something inside you feels saturated. Social plans may feel draining before they even begin. Even familiar voices can feel louder, sharper, more intrusive than before. And yet, there is also a strange sense of peace in being alone. This is not isolation. This is not withdrawal out of weakness. This is not random. This is sensitivity sharpening as your awareness rises. When an alignment like this success triangle forms, it does not only move your path forward, it heightens your ability to perceive energy, intention, and emotional tone. What once blended into the background now becomes visible. What once felt tolerable now feels misaligned. Your system is becoming more selective, more precise, more aware, and that awareness naturally creates distance from anything that disrupts your inner clarity. This is why you may feel the need to pull back, not to disconnect from others, but to reconnect with yourself. Because within that space, something important is happening. Your inner voice is becoming louder than the external world. Subtle insights begin to surface when there is no noise to compete with them. Feelings become clearer when they are not influenced by others. Decisions begin to form naturally when you are not absorbing conflicting energies. This is the purpose of this temporary withdrawal. It is alignment in its purest form. The 72-hour window between March 29th and March 31st is not only about movement, it is about refinement. It is about filtering what belongs in your next chapter and what does not. And that process requires space. Without it, everything feels mixed, confusing, overwhelming. But when you allow yourself to step back, even briefly, everything begins to separate into clarity. You start noticing the difference between what feels right and what feels forced, between what energizes you and what quietly drains you, between what supports your growth and what keeps you anchored to patterns that no longer serve you. This is why noise feels heavier right now, because your system no longer wants to carry what is unnecessary. You may even feel a subtle resistance when trying to engage in things that used to feel normal, not because those things are wrong, but because they are no longer aligned with where you are being guided. And this can feel confusing at first. There may be moments where you question yourself, where you wonder why your tolerance has shifted so quickly, why your need for solitude has grown so strong. But this is not something to question. This is something to trust. Because this shift is not about losing connection. It is about choosing it more consciously. The success triangle alignment is creating a heightened state of awareness. And within that awareness, your energy naturally begins to organize itself. It moves away from what creates distortion and toward what creates clarity. And sometimes that movement looks like distance. Not permanent distance, not rejection, but a necessary pause. A moment where you step out of the noise so you can hear what truly matters. And within that silence, something powerful happens. You begin to feel yourself again. Not the version shaped by expectations, conversations, or external pressures, but the version that exists beneath all of that, clear, calm, aligned. So if the world feels louder than usual, if people feel heavier than before, if solitude feels more like relief than loneliness, do not resist it. Do not force yourself back into spaces that no longer feel right just to maintain familiarity. Because what you are experiencing is not disconnection, it is refinement. And in this 72-hour window, that refinement is preparing you for something that requires clarity, not noise. Something that requires presence, not distraction. Something that requires you to hear yourself without interference. And when this phase settles, when the alignment completes its movement, one realization will remain with you. You did not withdraw from the world. You returned to yourself. There are moments now where everything suddenly becomes clear. Not gradually, not through long thinking, but in an instant. A realization appears, fully formed, as if it was waiting just beneath the surface for the right moment to rise. And when it does, it changes the way you see everything. In your daily life, this can feel almost surreal. A situation that once confused you suddenly makes sense. A person's behavior becomes obvious in a way it never was before. Even your own patterns, the ones you could not fully see, begin to reveal themselves without effort. It is not that you finally figured it out. It is that something inside you shifted, and now you can see what was always there. And this kind of clarity can feel both empowering and unsettling at the same time. Because once you see something clearly, you cannot return to not seeing it. This is not random. This is not overthinking. This is not coincidence. This is alignment revealing truth. The success triangle that is active between March 29th and March 31st is not only about movement and emotional release. It is about illumination. It brings hidden structures into view. It dissolves the fog that kept certain things unclear. And it does this quickly, almost instantly. That is why these realizations feel so sudden. Because the shift is not happening in your thoughts. It is happening in your awareness. Your perception is upgrading. You are beginning to see beyond surface appearances, beyond words, beyond what people say, and into what is actually being expressed beneath it. Energy becomes readable. Intentions become visible. Patterns become undeniable. And once that happens, everything changes. You may notice that decisions become easier, not because life suddenly becomes simple, but because you are no longer confused about what you feel. There is a directness now, a quiet certainty that does not need validation. At the same time, this clarity may challenge you, because some of the truths that surface may not align with what you expected. You may realize that something you held onto no longer fits, that something you trusted does not feel the same, that something you avoided seeing is now impossible to ignore. And this can create a moment of internal tension, not because something is wrong, but because something is being revealed. This is where many people hesitate. They feel the clarity, but they question it. They try to analyze it, to soften it, to return it to something more comfortable. But clarity does not arrive to comfort you. It arrives to guide you. The success triangle is not offering vague feelings. It is offering precise insight. It is showing you exactly where your energy aligns and where it does not. And it is doing this now, within this 72-hour window, because this is the moment where your direction can change, not through force, not through pressure, but through awareness. You are being shown what matters, what is real, what is ready to move forward, and what is ready to fall away. You may even notice that these realizations come in quiet moments, when you are not actively searching for answers, when your mind is still, when your attention softens, and then suddenly something clicks, a thought, a feeling, a knowing, and it stays with you, not as a question, but as truth. This is not imagination. This is not coincidence. This is alignment speaking clearly. And the more you trust these moments, the more they will guide you. Because clarity is not something you create. It is something you allow. And right now, it is being offered to you in a way that is rare, precise, and deeply personal. So when these realizations come, do not dismiss them. Do not rush past them. Do not try to reshape them into something easier to accept. Sit with them. Let them settle. Let them show you what they came to reveal. Because in this window, clarity is not just insight. It is direction. And by the time this alignment completes, one truth will remain unmistakably clear. You are no longer searching for answers. You are recognizing them. A quiet pull has started guiding you, subtle but undeniable. It does not shout, it does not force. It simply appears as a gentle knowing that certain actions matter more now than they did before. Small decisions begin to feel significant. Simple choices carry an unusual weight, as if they are connected to something larger than the moment itself. In your daily life, this can look almost ordinary. You feel drawn to send a message you have been postponing. You consider stepping away from something that no longer feels right. You think about beginning something new, even if it feels uncertain. None of these actions seem dramatic, yet each one feels important in a way you cannot fully explain. And what is most unusual is that this pull does not come from pressure. It comes from clarity. There is a difference between being pushed and being guided. Pressure creates tension. Guidance creates quiet certainty. And what you are feeling now belongs to the second. This is not random. This is not impulse. This is not coincidence. This is alignment translating into action. The success triangle that is active during these 72 hours is not only revealing truth and heightening awareness. It is opening pathways. It is aligning opportunities with readiness. It is creating moments where small movements lead to larger shifts. But here is what most people do not realize. The window does not act on its own. It responds to you. It amplifies what you choose. It supports what you initiate. It strengthens the direction you are willing to move toward. That is why this inner pull feels so important. Because it is not separate from the alignment. It is the way the alignment communicates with you. Each small action you feel guided to take is part of a larger pattern unfolding. A message sent at the right moment. A boundary placed at the exact point where it becomes necessary. A decision made when clarity is strongest. And while these actions may seem small in isolation, together, they begin to shift your path, quietly, gradually, but permanently. You may also notice a hesitation within you, a part that questions whether these urges are real, whether they matter, whether it is safer to wait. This hesitation is natural, because stepping into alignment often requires leaving behind what is familiar, even when what is familiar no longer serves you. But this is where the difference is revealed. The familiar feels comfortable. Alignment feels true. And right now you are being asked to choose truth, not in one dramatic moment, but in a series of small, precise steps. This is the third layer of this 72-hour window. Movement, awareness, and now, action. And the reason this phase feels quiet is because it is not about external validation. It is about internal trust. No one else can feel what you feel. No one else can see what you now see. And no one else can take the steps that are being shown to you. This is why the pull feels personal. Because it is. You are not being given a general path. You are being shown your path. And it is revealed through the smallest signals. A thought that lingers. A feeling that repeats. A direction that keeps returning no matter how many times you set it aside. This is guidance. Not loud. Not overwhelming, but persistent. And the more you listen to it, the clearer it becomes. The more you act on it, the stronger it gets. Until eventually what once felt like a quiet nudge becomes a steady direction that no longer needs to be questioned. This is how transformation happens during moments like this. Not through sudden dramatic change, but through aligned action taken at the right time. And that time is now. Because this window does not remain open. It moves, it passes, and those who recognize it step through it, while others wait for certainty that never arrives. So if you feel that pull, do not ignore it, do not delay it, do not reduce it to something insignificant. Because within this 72-hour window, even the smallest step carries weight, even the quietest decision holds power. And as this alignment completes, as the energy settles and the window begins to close, one realization will stay with you above all others. You did not miss your moment, you moved with it.